First National Bank of Lake Jackson presents Bank On It with your host, Dave Mayberry.
Welcome all, both here in our studios and those streaming online. Today, I'm excited and proud. We're going to have a good time with my guest and my friend, Pinkey Hartline Jr., client advisor and partner with Acrisure. Welcome, Pinkey.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
It's a
pleasure to be here.
It's going to be good. Hey, let's start off kind of where it began, but what about your choice of college, your major, where that led you to after graduation? Kind of give us a rundown on that.
So I think it's interesting that Vince was ahead of me, but the college, the Brazosport College, is actually a foundation of the story of my college and how I got to where I am. So I played college golf, and that's how I got a scholarship. So choice of college was really based on who would give me the most money for the scholarship, right? So applied for many schools, got some feedback, and went to Texas A&M University Commerce, which is now called East Texas A&M. I think they've changed now 12 times names, but
they'll get it right.
Yeah. It was a teacher's college at some point in the early years in the 1900s or whatever, but that choice was made based on golf and scholarship for golf. And when I went to college, all things were great. I did have a good first year. Second year was a little rough, getting quickly into a story, but I think what defines people's stories, right, and what they go through in life. But one of the things that I went through was my parents went through a divorce, and that was in my sophomore year in college. So it got a little rocky. Golf was not probably the top priority, neither was school. And so I came back to get things together for a very short stint in the summer because my golf coach said, "Hey, Pinky," I don't think it was called Skull Pro. It was called something of a probationary. "Hey, you need to get things together on the grades." And I was like, "Oh man, okay." So it was a little bit eye-opening. And I came home and that summer focused on a few areas. One of those was accounting. And so I went to accounting at Brazosport College and had Dr. Payne. And Dr. Payne took me kind of under his wing to help me out through that semester. Long story short, I got back to college and was doing great after that. So Brazosport College really helped me with that process and getting back to the school that I was going to keep that scholarship rolling and perform well. So, but that's how I got to the college, was basically through golf and playing in a fortunate to get a scholarship for 4 years to play golf there.
And you're still playing golf now.
I still play golf. It is fun rounds as well with friends and colleagues, and a lot of it has to do with business some too. But
and fundraisers.
Yes, fundraisers. Golf is a big part of community and fundraising, so it's been good.
You told us a little bit about it, but what's the story about returning home and starting a new career here in Brazoria County?
So I would say golf has been a part of my life, right? I mentioned that a few times, and my dad was a third generation golf pro. And so when I graduated college, I was hot off of a great ending of I won conference as an individual in my junior year. And then I won again in my senior year in just an individual play tournament, college golf tournament. And so I had some wins under my belt. I was feeling really pumped up about that. And so I thought that I would probably need to stick near that industry. And I also came out of college in a time when the housing market was down, right? It was 08, 09 period. So I applied to a lot of places, and home became a good option for me because that I went to apply at a golf course, a country club called Sweetwater Country Club. And it was in Sugar Land, Texas. And got the job. Everything was great, but I got a degree in ag business, and I was just like, all right, I'm a fourth generation golf pro. This makes sense. It's a down economy. I'll continue on this. And that brought me home originally. And from that, being in the golf industry, you meet different characters and personalities and mentors. And so I hung out with a few that gave me some sound advice, which is how I got to the insurance industry.
Speaking of insurance, your career, you decided to concentrate early on the commercial side. What moment or person maybe inspired you to take that leap?
Well, I would say you were a little bit a part of that, Dave. You're part of that story, right? So for the viewers, I worked with Dave for many years, and he's a mentor of mine and good friend of mine, most importantly.
Thank you for that.
But so early in my career, there was a change. When I started, I applied similar to what you did as a scratch agent kind of setup where you join any agency or insurance company like Nationwide and build things from the ground up, that kind of thing. So I worked with a gentleman, Tracy Hester, who we know, and Tracy had a commercial agent in our office. And so working with you and health insurance and personal insurance was great, but I always had a knack for something complex and enjoyed helping people just like we all did. But a fate situation happened where a gentleman had that gentleman that was in that place, Ray was his name. And Ray had a situation health wise that had him kind of step back from things. And so God had it, faith had it that it was something needed to be put in place there. And I happened to take the role in that situation. So when I did that, it was just kind of from the ground up. And ever since then, kind of just never looked back because of the industry itself. So
When you first joined us, how did the local community influence you in the early days?
sure.
I mean, you're a native like I am.
Yeah.
That helps a lot in any business that's sales.
Yeah. Well, our local presence that we had and me being a part of the community was obviously a foundation part of being successful. I would say there were some folks like Jack Brown in the community that were very supportive of me, encouraged me to join local groups and stuff like Lake Jackson Business Association.
And he still does.
And he still does. He's doing a fantastic job with the breakfast group there. And, local people, mentors were a big part of that. So I would say just foundationally, those relationships were just so key. And what's crazy about business in general is that you can go far and wide in business. You can travel the country. You can go overseas. You can go to the next state. You can venture whatever that looks like for you, or just even your next town. But there's nothing better than that support from your local area. And I would say that's just fundamentally comforting, and also just a big part of my success is my root support in this county, in this city, in this area just has been great.
You know, your business now, of course, crosses county lines and way beyond. But what makes doing business right here in Brazoria County, even Lake Jackson, different from anywhere else?
Well, I think that having the ability to have human interaction, people walking in the doors, just like this bank in general, operations like that, businesses and communities that have that going on is, we're in a transitional period, right, in the world where people are doing things online. There's AI, there's all these things, but having the ability to either meet and talk to people, that's the most human thing in the world to do. And I think that's what this community is about. We really, we're strong in that area where if you need something, whether it's reaching out to you or even events that you had and needing advice or help or mentorship or ideas, man, people just do it. They drop what they're doing. They're like, hey, man, what do you need? Who can I call? What can I help you with?
That's what I love about it, too. You and I talked a little bit in your office yesterday. Do you think that, like, the home office is going away and industries are going to want you present and accounted for?
I think that the home office is again a part of that transition. I think a lot of people can say, hey, man, it's AI that's pushing all that. It is, but I think that in general, business is productive when people are interacting with each other, and that goes in offices too. So I don't disagree with hybrid approaches or even at-home approaches. I just know that humans like to talk to each other. It's a great thing, and that's what we're built to do. And so I think that we are in a cycle where we're going to see that continue to come back to office. So
let's take a short pause right here. We'll be back with more with Pinkey Hartline after these words from our sponsors. Pinkey Hartline Jr. and Acrisure is where human experience meets advanced technology. No matter how unique your needs may be, our technology connects you to the right personalized insurance and business solutions. From all forms of insurance to employee benefits, cybersecurity, payroll, mortgages, and really so much more. insurance solutions, and more, customized to you by Pinkey Hartline and Acrisure. Questions? Call 903-456-9024. The number again is 903-456-9024. We specialize in you. Our podcast today is sponsored by First National Bank of Lake Jackson, featuring financial services with the integrity that you deserve. Let's talk. Call or come by and let's discuss your goals and plans for the future. First National Bank of Lake Jackson, putting you first for over 63 years. Member FDIC. We're back with Pinkey Hartline Jr. and Acrisure. This interview wouldn't be complete without talking about the reason you work so hard, and that's your family. Give us a little family history lesson.
So, very blessed to have 3 children.
That you took to the ball game last night for the first time.
Yes. Thank you, BISD and Bradsport College and Freeport LNG. That was awesome.
Tell them a little bit about what that was all about last night, if you have just a moment.
Yeah, so it was celebrating or letting the community know about the schools that we have here, mainly the college and the program for athletics. And
Which is back.
It is back.
We're so excited.
And some of the meetings I attended in the beginning, I think it was in the 70s, maybe. It was the last time. So it's nice to have that revisited. And I think it's well perceived. It would be an understatement. There's a lot of community support. But it was a neat event. Vince and Dave and all of them. And Bartlett was on the field. And it was just Danny Massey. It was cool to see them on the field. And I hope they have a proud moment there because that was cool to see our community out there.
Thank you for that. But back to the family.
Yeah. So the family and I, we went to the game. It was great, but the setup at our house is we have three daughters, 8, 7, and 5. Amelia, Olivia, and Stella. Kathleen is the CEO of the family. We have there's some advice I think down the line here that we may talk about, but one of my biggest things that I would say to any young man, especially, would be pick your spouse wisely. They are very important in life, and I'm very blessed in that area. Kathleen's been a big part of my success. But our family is 5, and we live in Lake Jackson and just love the community, and the kids we have are blessed in this area. So,
well, you told me that Kathleen begged you to get married, and you finally said okay after about 10 or 12 times.
Yeah.
That wasn't true?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, every once in a while I see a picture of your mom up at the ranch with your aunt or something. Do you still get away and go up there?
I do.
He has a beautiful mom, everybody. She's a sweetheart.
She's a sweetheart. Yes, we do visit. The girls love the farm aspect, the rural area. You know, we have a rural area here in Brazoria County too, but there's nothing better than going to visit on the farm, and just the girls have enjoyed looking at the horses and feeding cows and things like that. So
and you recharge your batteries and can let everything go for a while.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. What's the biggest lesson that you personally have learned about running a business in a small town?
One of the things about business in general is just never burn bridges. Whether it's employees, whether it's clients, you start to burn bridges, you get to put yourself in a position where you don't have anywhere to kind of go with things, and that goes with employees, and it goes with clients too. If anyone likes playing chess, it's like, you can only move so many times, right? With that king, you can only do so many moves, right? But it's just tricky when you start burning bridges. So.
And you know what, Pinky, that goes with people that decide not to go with you right now.
Yeah.
You don't burn that bridge either, because you never know later on. Here we go.
Yeah, I would say another key part of success I've had in general in businesses, in local business too, is just following up with people. That's part of that whole don't burn bridge scenario, right? If something doesn't go right or someone chooses another route, you can always follow up with them later on. Unless you burn the bridge, right? And then you don't have that route. So I think that following up is extremely important. It's great, but it's been very helpful.
A personal touch is not very common as it used to be.
No, it's not.
So if you do that, you're way ahead of the game, and you have, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I learned along the way was a little bit of personal touch, even talking with you over the years, and some of the things that you did as well. And writing personal handwritten notes is just the craziest thing that's so simple, but it's a total business builder. You can build $1 million empire just by personal touch and following up with people. It's something that is almost a lost art. So
If you could go back to day one, when you started in your commercial business or insurance business, what advice would you give a young Pinkey Hartline?
I would say take more deep breaths. Relax with things. You're not going to conquer the world in one day or one meeting. And if you're ever challenged or frustrated with employees or even clients and family members alike, or any situation, just take deep breaths and know that after that deep breath, you can meditate, pray, or whatever it is, and then make a good decision on things. Because I didn't make, thankfully, too many harsh decisions, but man, when you do that, it just gives you time before the email goes out or before the call was made.
I agree. What are some of your favorite local spots, maybe with you and Kathleen or with the kids too, and maybe a business or two that you admire or like to visit?
We are so blessed to have great businesses in general and people that have supported them and started them. And there's a few that come to mind that are great. I would say, man, it's hard to catch a bad meal at Grape Taste.
I agree.
I've had good experiences there. They are a great meeting spot.
It's not just the meal either, is it?
No.
I mean, Holly interacting with you and people
Holly
knowing you and
running around, making sure you got everything you need is great. She also just has a personal touch with names and stuff. She knows if you're, I'm like, hey, what should I do with Dave today? Can I get him something? And she knows exactly you've been in there. And,
right.
Just same thing with other clients. You got the ability to be comforted in that spot. It's a good eating spot. But I would say Brew and Bake's a great spot too, right? As far as just kind of general businesses and stuff that I've seen too, I follow on some social media. There's a group, Top Coat, in Jones Creek. As my career's evolved in safety and risk management and stuff like that, those guys have taken another level with how they do things with their morale. I think that's unique. And so when I talk to businesses of all kinds, we look at that. And so I just think it's really unique that those folks do something. And those guys are they're local. It's a family. I've seen them around town as well. So they're very local supporting. So.
We're talking business, and speaking of business, Pinkey, where do you see yours in, say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, it's an excellent question. I appreciate you asking as well. But I would say in 5 years, looking for a rapid growth scenario. I have an aggressive goal where I want to be from a book size or revenue size. And I would say I'm looking at double where I'm at currently in 5 years. There is, in general, in the insurance world, there's a threshold, and once you reach certain thresholds, especially in the large brokerages that are present in our area, United States, the global brokers, there's a threshold that you reach, and internally within those, there's kind of this unspoken level that you reach at. And once you reach certain levels, revenue or premium, however you want to talk about it, when you hit those, there is exponential changes in life and career and path and stuff like that. So I would say where I'm at currently, I'm just looking to double that in 5 years. And then in 10 years, just continuing that path. I don't really have just desire to slow down and too much in the next 5 or 10 years, mainly because my wife says that I am probably best being busy and working. And so I found something, God's provided me with a career that I love to do. And so it's really not work for me. And so saying all those things as far as aggressive growth and where I want to be in general with business, it doesn't really bother me too much. I enjoy the career that I'm in. So it's not work for me. It's more of a challenge, and I love it. So
You've always set goals for yourself. Do you find that some of the people that just don't take goals seriously enough, they just work day to day?
Having a North Star is probably one of the best things in business to have. If you don't have a North Star or a goal, then you're really just kind of doing mundane tasks. And I think whether you're, whatever industry it is, whether it's insurance or digging ditches or working in a restaurant, if you're not,
Or a bank.
right?
Right.
If you're not setting those goals on an annual basis and reviewing them, there's really no accountability, and you just kind of start to do what I would say floating. And, floating in life is just it's not going to be productive in the business world, at least.
Let's conclude with telling us about what you and Acrisure offers and how you can enhance business operations and relationships?
Well, thank you for asking, Dave. We have a fintech approach is a good way to start with it. And what that means is we've bridged fintech or financial and insurance with people, and then brought in various aspects of technology such as AI and stuff like that to help with efficiencies, and then provide products. What we physically, do day to day would be insurance services, risk management, cybersecurity, payroll, mortgage, title. We do all things insurance related in any capacity. And then we also do, of course, employee benefits. And I would say one of our strongholds in all of that, whether it's employee benefits or insurance, P&Cs, we call it property and casualty, we have a good grasp on what we call risk resources internally. And that is consultative, holistic approach to insurance, where we come in and look at the safety and the operations, morale, internal. It's not always that we're trying to catch that sell at that point. It's let's open up the hood, see what we can find out in the situation of helping you guys be more efficient and increase your bottom line and yada, yada, yada. Those things are all important, right? And when we do those, we find that we actually find a long-term client or someone that trusts us. And that's kind of what Acrisure does in general, what I work with through Acrisure.
It's kind of like asking them, what do you like about the product you're currently with? And what do you not like about it, or what would you like different?
Sure.
And that's where you plug it in. And that's where the customization with Acrisure and you come in.
Yep.
In closing, any final thoughts you might want to share with us or leave with us today?
Being a believer has been an important part of my life, first and foremost. So I think that having a North Star, which for me is Jesus Christ, is important. I think also that having a good foundation in a marriage is important. I'm blessed in that area. I think Kay would be, you'd be saying the same thing about Kay. But I think that those are important pieces. And I think the last thing that I would say and leave people with is that, waking up every day, everyone has different stories on what's going to happen that day and what circumstances are putting them there. But wake up every day and put a goal on that day, or have a positive outlook on that day, or a goal that helps you have a positive outlook. And that just changes your life dramatically in general. Leading a life of it doesn't mean you have to have constant goals, but man, if you could put some effort into each day with a goal that you want to take care of, maybe it's just for a business person, I don't know, maybe it's answering one hard email that you've been letting set in your inbox. Put something on the table and execute it that day.
We've been speaking with Pinkey Hartline, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I treasure our friendship, and I really enjoyed the time together today, and perhaps maybe you could join us again one day.
Yeah.
Would you like to join us again one day?
Casual conversations. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Whatever topics.
It doesn't matter.
It could be
as long as we're together, right?
We had where we would go vote annually, and we'd have a conversation on the way there. Whatever it would be about, it could be anything. So
sounds great to me. Well, for Pinkey Hartline and Acrisure, Lee Cowan, our producer with Marketing and Creative LLC, and First National Bank of Lake Jackson, I'm Dave Mayberry saying thanks for joining us, and we look forward to our next podcast. You can bank on it. This podcast is for entertainment and informational purposes only and does not constitute legal or financial advice. Please consult with a professional for specific advice tailored to your situation. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and any guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of First National Bank of Lake Jackson. This episode discusses topics that are subject to change. Always review your current sources.